Hey everybody, and welcome back to Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Jack and I are still like Jackson, and we've missed a few weeks, and we very much apologize, but we've had a lot of things going on, and funerals and memorials to plan and stuff like that, so sorry about that, but we're back. And this one is back, and this is thanks to my friend Denise, very good friend Denise, that I haven't been able to see in person, but she shared a picture of how she did it, so this is how I'm going to do it, or how not to do it, I don't know. This is a different way to do it, I think. I don't know. There seem to be a million different recipes on this. So, again, Denise, thanks for giving me the good idea, and hopefully I'll follow it up with doing it how you've done it. So, before we get into it, be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y stuff, ring the little bell down in that corner to get notifications when we do these on Tuesdays and Fridays, or as close to that as we can. Also, there's a link down in the doobly-doo for our merch. We got aprons and fake hands and pot holders, spoons, peppers, spatulas, that kind of stuff. We're a small business, and we very much appreciate it. Let's just get into the food. Oh, yeah. The food. Alright, we're going to end up with two different kinds of buns here. It looks like a lot of stuff, but it's not. So I'm going to use this ground beef. I use the cheap 73% stuff, mostly because I'm keeping it under budget. You're going to need some cheese. I prefer the smoked Gouda. There's other people that Havarti is a big thing to get them. Whatever, what kind of cheese you like. Pineapple. I like using the fresh stuff. You can use a can, that's fine. We're only going to use like a third of this, 2 or 3 slices for this. Lettuce and tomato for people that like that on your burger, that's fine. I'm also going to use the lettuce to do a bunless version, like less carbs or whatever, but I also have my regular buns. I think I got most, if not all of this from HEB, so shout out to HEB as well. Yeah, that stuff. And then there's always a sauce. Everybody's like, oh, you can just put straight teriyaki. Then there's like a mayo and sriracha stuff. And then I found a recipe that kind of put it all together. Just the mayo with any kind of hot sauce. Now, I love the cayenne stuff, the red pepper stuff. And you can hit it with some ponzu or soy sauce if you're into that kind of thing. But what I'm going to do is this one that I found where it's going to be the teriyaki mayo. And then instead of sriracha, because I don't have it in the house, is this chili oil that's got the garlic and stuff in it. And then again, if you're going to use the buns, use the ones that have the seeds and things in them, okay? So first things first, we're going to sit down over here and we're going to make our sauce stuff. So it's just 2 of the big tablespoons of your teriyaki. It's a little weird pouring it in there. It's kind of goopy, but that's just teriyaki sauce, I think, and the camera wiggled there, so that was Zool. I apologize. So just get 2 of those, put them in a bowl there. Make sure to get that clean. And then this one's tricky. You need to do just another tablespoon of the mayo. It's just trying to get it off, so you're just going to have to beat it against the side of the bowl so you get it. And then a teaspoon of whatever hot sauce. Now I'm going to use this chili oil with the garlic and peanuts in it. It was just part of the garlic. I thought it was a hair. Sorry. So put that in there, get you a spoon, and then put this on the side. Now I leave the sound in this just to harass Jack. I know that bothers him a little bit, and it's just a fun thing that friends do in the kitchen together. So make sure that's nice and mixed up. Set it to the side. Now wash your vegetables, your lettuce, and your tomato. Those are very important to get clean. And then your tomato, if you're going to use it, is optional at this point anyway. So just go ahead and get a decent slice. Now I'm not a giant fan of just raw tomatoes unless I'm with my grandfather eating it in the garden somewhere. So I do a nice thin one. But some people like thick stuff. It's up to you completely. Your pineapple, we're going to go ahead and cut the side of it off and the inside out so you don't have to clean it too much. That's fine. I'm going to start from the bottom end of this and work my way up towards the stalk there. So get a nice sharp knife. Shout out to Andy. And just go ahead and cut that buttstock off. You can chew on that once later. And then get you a couple of rings here. Now, or I guess a disc so far. Again, there's 2 schools of thought. I prefer the small skinny slices. Some people prefer the really thick ones. Completely up to you. So again, you can use the can. We're doing this for like maybe 2-3 burgers, so don't worry about doing too much. So get your knife, and then here's the trick: is put the knife on the cutting board and spin the pineapple instead of trying to cut around the knife. It's less risk of running your thumb over with a knife. It's not eliminated, it's always there. Let me tell you that truthfully. And then you can kind of chew on the outside of the rind that you just cut off. Now you can cut a circle in the middle if you have an apple core. It works well. I don't, so I just use a knife. I don't understand why. I guess the ones in the can come without the cores, but these is because they're fresh, they're nice and soft, so that's fine. So go ahead and get those done. I'm going to do this before we cook the burger anyway. We're going to go ahead and pull off some of this lettuce. Okay, so get you the nice big leaves. This is how Denise was doing hers without the bread or whatever, the lettuce, and it's slightly healthier. And since I'm trying to do that myself, let's go ahead and cut that in there too. So pull off 2 or 3 of your big leaves. Make sure to start from the top. Get the green ones. Make sure they're nice and clean. Okay, dirt can get tucked into those really well. So just pull those off, and now the rest you're going to start on the opposite end of your root. Get your sharp knife, and just cut just a little, just shave a little piece off there. Whoop. Right, just like a little skull cap of one, And then you can either take your sharp knife here, or kitchen shears, or just your wife's, garbing or sewing scissors, and cut it down 2 or 3 times. You get a nice little shredded lettuce. That works perfect. If I'm putting it in a burger, it's hard to do that because I always just pull out pieces of meat. Get you a medium size skillet or something to cook this in. You're going to put it about medium to medium low. You don't want it too high. You want it as low as possible. So I'll put it on a 3 or 4 out of 9 here. Then we're going to work on your beef. Like sometimes they have little markings if you want to cut them down like breakfast sausage. If you want to use 2 or 3 pieces of the buns here, I'm only using 2. So we're just going to try to get it right in the middle and cut it in half. I love how they tube meat here in the States. I've had so many people like, where do you get the tubes of meat? Because overseas they don't do that. They put them in the flat packs. So just go ahead and squeeze this out. Now, if you're having a problem with it, go ahead and poke a hole up here in this side. Make sure your hands are clean because they're not going to, when you're done here, because you're going to get greasy hamburger all over you. Don't touch your camera. Don't touch anything else until you go wash your hands because it's just gross. Now, you can take this half a tube and just mash it flat on the skillet. That's fine. But every time I do that, it cracks around the edges. So take some time to flatten out your hamburger here and just kind of caress the edges back together so it's not all cracked and falling apart. I know we're going to use cheese, which is basically food glue is the term I was looking for there. That'll kind of cover a lot of that up, but I'd just rather not have to worry about breaking apart. So just put it down in there. You'll hear a little sizzle. Again, you want it to sizzle. You don't want it to pop. So if it's popping, go ahead and turn this down, especially if we're using a 1/4 pound piece of meat to do this. You want to make sure it cooks nice, so keep it low. Like I said, 3 or 4 in there. Let it go ahead and start browning on one side. You're going to give it a nice flip. Be very careful because that grease is in there. Now, I know I've been yelled at for mashing the taste out of these by squishing these down and getting the grease out of them. So I very much apologize about that. But George Foreman will have something to say about that with his grill or whatever. So go ahead and give it a nice press down in there and keep the grease on one side. But if it starts popping and sizzling without it, move it around. Once you get these to the firmness you want, I try to do mine medium to medium well, which is pretty stiff on your hamburger stuff. Go ahead and take that sliced pineapple, I know it's blasphemy, and just slide it into the grease right next to it. Now, if you're doing this outside, put it on the grill. There's always some lovely grill marks on it. It looks amazing. But we're doing this on the side, so just put it in the grease with the rest of it. Let it cook down on one side for about 2 to 3 minutes until it starts to brown on the edges a little bit. Once it starts to brown on the edges, flip your burger, and then put the cheese on top of the burger while it's still in the skillet. That'll help it melt, help it cook down in there, and seal up some of those cracks. Again, 2 or 3 minutes until it's done. Go ahead and cheese that up. And then when you're done, get your secret weapon here, your paper towel on a plate, and it's going to pull that George Foreman grease off of there. Just set it off to the side. Now, when you take the pineapple out, you can put it directly on top of the hamburger. Whoop, it's slippery, guys. Be very careful with this. Go ahead and put it directly on top of that cheese. It'll help that melt and stick to both sides. If you want to use any kind of seasonings here, that's fine. Go ahead and season your meat, but that's up to you. But everything else on here is not needed. So go ahead and get your bun and just put it right in the skillet with that grease. We're going to grill this down. Again, you can do this on a grill, but you want to put butter on it if you're going to do it that way. I've always grown up with like the greasy spoons and stuff where they do those and butter them and then throw them on the flat grill. So just this is how this goes. Put the lettuce down, put your sauce on it, and then dress it like it's a regular burger. Just put lettuce on the top when you're done. And that is absolutely it. How to do that with the lettuce one. Now the bread, you see how it's starting to brown on the edges. Go ahead and pull that off. Same thing. We're going to show you how to dress that, but it's just, you're making burgers, man. Just get the bun, put the sauce on it, and then I've always found that it's easier to use the burger first and then the pineapple because the pineapple is slippery. So you need to be careful of that because it'll just sling really hot meat at your feet or in your face or in your lap, however you cook. I'm not going to judge. So go ahead and put that on there, get it all splashed around, and dress it. And there you have it. That's done. That is amazing. It tastes great. It is a bit of a mess, especially the one with the lettuce. I guess the bread soaks up a lot of the other stuff. I dressed mine next to some fries just because I'm fancy like that, going all bougie or whatever they call it now, as the kids say. And but the lettuce thing was actually really filling, but it did make a mess. The one with the bread was really good, but my doc's probably mad at me for eating carbs. So just don't tell him. That'll be our secret. This made 2 really big burgers. So if you have a smaller family, you can cut that down to where it's 1/8 of a burger, cut it into quarters and send it out like that. And it's perfect. It'll go to 4 or 5 people that way, depending how much they eat, especially if you're going to get fries or something to put beside it. So this is really great. You need to try it out. Let me know know if you do send us pictures. I very much appreciate it. And thank you, Denise, for sending me the pictures and the inspiration to try this one. I'll see you next time. Try this. And there you have it, folks. It turned out really well. I enjoyed it. It's not the same as the other ones I've tried at other places. So if you want to see me do it again, I will revisit this. Tell me exactly how you do it. Some people just put the straight teriyaki on it, whatever. I didn't mind mixing it or whatever. It turned out really well. But I don't know if that's officially Hawaiian. It might be some other island out there, but it's different. If you do it differently, let me know. Put it down in the comments. That's what the comment sections are for. You can also find us on social media: Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon. We're all those at Them Between Paychecks Kitchen. Also on Instagram at Them Between. Hit a short hit down over there. Me, Sweet Nerdy, I'm on all those, including over on Twitter and on TikTok. Though I'm usually just talking comics or action figures, miniatures, gaming, nerd stuff. I will see y'all next time. Y'all look me up and find that stuff. And let's just enjoy the food, man. Be good.